Yeah, let's do it. Okay, well, welcome everyone to the first live streamed Ladies at UX, the Netherlands lunch meeting. For those who don't know us, Ladies at UX is a global community of UX professionals it started out in 2013 in Manchester and was founded by two English women, Lizzie and Georgie, in 2013. So next year, it will be 10 years that we exist. Yeah, they just missed having fellow women in UX to talk to, as it seemed that there were mostly men in UX at that time. The community has helped them to find other women in the field and has spread to other cities as well. So here in the Netherlands, we have the two chapters, Claudia from Ladies at UX Amsterdam, and I myself from Ladies at UX in Utrecht. Oh, wait, 3 people entered the waiting room. Admit all. Okay, yeah, Ruya is also from Ladies at UX Utrecht. Hi, ladies. Okay, so the community has helped them find other women in the field, and it has spread to other cities, with currently over 80 chapters all over the globe. And nowadays, it's not limited to only women, men, and anyone in between is welcome as well. We do support underrepresented groups in tech and try to build a community where you can be inspired and talk about your struggles in your career, or find a mentor, for example, and push your boundaries to excel in your career. Well, welcome everyone. I was just finishing my introduction talk. We are streaming live on LinkedIn right now. So our first live stream event, I was just trying, I just wanted to try it out for our future meetups, because I think, yeah, in this time, people, they want to have more possibilities than just go to a real meetup or just check it out on LinkedIn. And I myself see a lot of live streams on LinkedIn lately, and I just wanted to try it out as well. Okay, well, in the Netherlands, there are two chapters, as I just said, Ladies at UX Amsterdam and Ladies at UX Utrecht. These lunch meetings were started by us, Ladies at UX Utrecht, during the pandemic, because during our monthly online meetups, there was little to no time for networking and chatting, because we had a speaker and the speaker told their story, and then everybody logged off afterwards, which is of course understandable. You have been online and looking at your screen all day. So, but we really missed the connection with our community like we used to have before COVID, where we just had drinks afterwards and could talk to each other. So that's why we started this informal event, just to chat and get to know each other and help each other. And in the last bi-weekly lunch meetings, there were a lot of questions. So it was like an Ask Me Anything session where there were senior UXers, junior UXers, and just asking help for struggles, or maybe to get into UX, or for applying for jobs, for example. So yeah, you can ask us anything via Slido. The link is shared in the LinkedIn event, and also via Meetup. Maybe somebody can post it in the chat. So yeah, you can ask the questions. Let's see if I have everything from the beginning out of the way. Okay, yeah, I think we can just start with an introduction round. So that's actually what we always do at our lunch meetings. We don't know everybody that joins, so we just take a first round, and then the conversation flows automatically. Yeah, maybe I should start because I'm already talking. Well, I'm Kimberly Snoyle. I'm currently a UX researcher for Capgemini, and I'm outsourced to the Dutch police. I'm living in the Netherlands, in Utrecht. I'm 33 years old. I actually started this meetup group in Utrecht after I've been to Ladies at UX Amsterdam, and I was really inspired. And I thought, hey, we can do this in Utrecht as well. We have a lot of UX companies, a lot of UXers. Let's build a community, and so we can find each other more easily and learn from each other. We started in 2016. So yeah, almost already 6 years this year. Yeah, we have a team of I think 5 people now. Ruya is one of them, Yerida, Anushka, Lara we have as well. They're not all here right now, but yeah, that's a little bit about me. I live in Utrecht. I have 2 kids, 2 boys, one of 6 and one of almost 4. And I talk about UX testing a lot on conferences, because I have a career in UX in software testing 7 years before I started out in UX. So Ladies at UX was a really nice place for me to talk about UX while I was in software testing for a few years. Okay, maybe I can give the word to Claudia now.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Claudia. I'm a senior content designer. So I'm in UX writing, and I'm part of the Ladies That UX Amsterdam. Actually, since only last year. And yeah, I have been. I'm actually in the organizing team, and I've benefited in the past from the community because I was a mentee in the mentorship program, and I thought this was a really great initiative and really well organized. And then I actually approached the chapter lead, and yeah, I just stepped in actually into the community. Yeah, what else can I say? I think the community is really important. Also, I see every day in my work that there is still a lot of men in, especially in the field I'm working, because I'm in a software company and I'm working in the product and engineering part. Of course, there are also some initiative in our company to change that, but still there is a lot of support needed. And yeah, so the vision also I have for like the Ladies at UX Amsterdam, but also the Netherlands, I think it would be really cool to reach out to other chapters in other countries and to meet up in a bi-weekly lunch meeting. That's also actually how Kimberly and I were thinking about the future of this bi-weekly lunch, and that first meeting now where we meet, kind of a experiment to see if this is something that also people are other in the community are interested. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's it from my part.
Can you point someone out that you can introduce yourself next?
Yeah, Marinske.
Hi, I'm Marinske. I live in Haarlem. I think I started studying or doing courses in UX in 2016. And I had my own company in web design. And 2 months ago, I started working as a UX/UI designer for an app that is in environmental consultancy for industrial processes. It's super complex and super interesting, and I just moved into a new office, as you can see in the background. I'm starting right now with Figma, and I'm learning it a little bit, and I have a design background, so yeah, I'm super enthusiastic about it. It's this application it's a web application mainly for desktop, and anyways, I won't go into detail about this. Next is Eleonora.
I have to find my unmute button all the time. Hi, so my name is Eleonora. I am originally from Uzbekistan. I live in Utrecht. We moved 2 months ago from Hilversum, so woohoo. I do work in Amsterdam though, so I'm still attending quite some things in Amsterdam, trying to play the two fields. I work at the Bijenkorf. I lead the product research and design team there. I've been there for now a bit over 2 years, almost 3 years. Yeah, for me, it's also interesting indeed to get back to this community after the 2 quiet years, because yeah, it was Also during the pandemic, a little bit on the personal note, I had a baby. So yeah, I was really just basically home. So it's really great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to give back. I joined the Ladies at UX Mentorship Kickoff program. So that was like the first time after I think 2 years. It was very awkward. I had to learn small talk again after this time. But yeah, looking forward to getting to know all of you. On maybe a bit of professional note, something that I am really looking forward to learn from other people in the sort of this creative industry, let's say, is how the UX team or the research team or insights team, or however you define it, or the product design team is structured in your organization. Because it's one of my personal missions in the organization to push for more research and also more space and experimentation in the creative direction of the product. So any tips on that note can be also super helpful for me. I need to appoint somebody. Dana?
And maybe
Hi.
Dana? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I also can't find the unmute. Hi, nice to meet you guys. I'm Dana. I'm a UX researcher at Netflix. I'm based in Amsterdam. I'm originally from the US, obviously, in a California accent. But I've been in Amsterdam for about 2 years now. And I work I've worked on like all parts of the Netflix business. I do a little bit of everything when it comes to research, but a lot of what I do is product research and UX research and partnering closely with our designers. And what else? That's it. I'm just excited to, kind of start meeting people again. And I also am part of the Women in Research organization. And we just had our first Amsterdam event in the spring, and we'll be having more.
Oh, nice.
So just a plug for that organization as well. Anyone who's sort of tangentially related to research, I think we would love to have come to.
Is it all kind of research or UX research specifically?
All kinds of research, yeah. We have people from all over, from client side, supplier side, UX, market research, ads research, sort of a little bit of everything. So,
Nice.
So yeah.
Welcome. And who can speak next?
I'm not sure. Monica
and Ruya haven't been yet.
Yes, Monica, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Monica. Nice to meet everybody. I'm also from California. So I moved here last year and I'm living in Utrecht. And I also started UX design last year. And recently I just completed my bootcamp with Design Lab. So right now I'm in the process of looking for a job. And so, yeah, I'm just open to any kind of tips, resources, advice, anything that can help me with the job process. Yeah. And I look forward to connecting with you guys, or all of you. Oh, and then I'll popcorn to Ruya. Is that, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yep, it's all good. Well, I'm Ruya, and I'm also part of the organizing team and Ladies at UX Utrecht. And I am also based in Utrecht for almost a year now, almost. And I am a UX researcher and I'm freelancing and right now working with Adidas for 5 months or so. That's it. Quick. And
it feels like you've been in the team forever, but it's only a year. She joined the Utrecht team and she was just in the Netherlands for a few days, I think. But last week I came into the Netherlands and I was like, oh, okay. And she joined the organizing team immediately. So yeah, it's really nice to have you on board.
Thank you.
Okay, there are already a few questions coming in from you here, so maybe we can discuss those first. I think Eleonora, you were the first one, I think, having a question about how the team, the different teams are structured in the organization.
Yeah,
Give some more background on that. So,
since this is being streamed, I'm not gonna tell
that's
my secret plan, but the idea is within the Biocorp, we have quite a lot of departments that deal with customer insights. So it can be us, the UX research. There's also a CX specialist who are dealing with more on the metric level, like MPS and so on. There's data people. So I've been kind of thinking, and this is just an idea that's being baked, what if we combined all these forces? So yeah, I'm curious if that happens in any other organizations, or maybe a little bit also in the bigger organizations like Adidas or Netflix, for instance. I'm curious because I think in terms of UX maturity, you guys are a little bit further away. And then also, where does that put also the design then? Because at the moment UX research and UX design is in one team. Does that then put the UX research being more about collecting insights in one, and then the design is more about implementing those insights into visual and other interfaces and interaction design and so on? Should that be split? That's another question. If any of you is comfortable with sharing your organizational chart with me afterwards, that would be also super helpful. Then I can say, look, they're doing it this way and they're great, or something like that. Yeah, so that's a little bit of the context.
Yeah, it's Dana is gonna.
Yeah, I can share a little bit about how Netflix is structured. Not that it's necessarily ideal, or it's sort of how it's always been, but I can share a little bit. I know that a lot of bigger companies, design research is part of design. They're like integrated into one team. At Netflix, they're not. And there's a few reasons for that. I'd say primarily because while we have a large product research team, we also have a lot of other types of research that are happening. So we have a huge team that works on content research, and a huge team that works on marketing research, and a huge team that works on growth research, which there's a product element to that, but there's also a market research element to that. And then we have the product team who's working really close, the product research team who's working really closely with designers. So it's really sort of one subset of the team that is really partners really closely with design, and the rest of the team doesn't. So I think from that perspective, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for us to be integrated into one team with design, just because there's so many people who don't touch design. Their stakeholders are in completely different parts of the business. So we have a gigantic consumer insights team. I think it's like 80 people now. And yeah, like I said, the span is quite broad, and it's really that the product research team, which is the part of the team I'm on. We do partner very closely with design. We work, hand in hand with them, but not part of the same like org structure. They go up to a design VP, and we go up to a consumer insights VP. And we are part of a data and insights organization. So consumer insights rolls up to a consumer insights VP, and then there is like the data science folks that are sort of the other part of our org, and then design is separate from that, and they're part of the product development team. Does that help?
Yeah, so is then the product, so I assume you have something like product managers, product owners, and the developers, are they all together then in one?
Yeah, so that's the sort of product development part of the organization. They all roll up to one leader, and there's design, product managers. I think engineering is technically separate, but obviously they're working closely as well.
Yeah, and in terms of workflow, because I can imagine that whatever you're researching, that needs to sort of flow into the product design development roadmap or backlog, right? How are you collaborating?
Yeah, I'd say that on the product side, when we're working with product managers and designers, we're integrated into those teams and working really closely with them. So, you know, every single thing we do here is A/B tested. So we are like, we don't move a pixel without A/B testing it. So we are working really closely on informing those A/B tests with research. So, you know, at the concept stage, I mean, often before that, identifying pain points and the white space and that sort of thing, but then working really closely with the product managers and designers to, you know, put prototypes in front of consumers and, you know, do all that type of evaluation. And then having that inform the A/B test. And then often once the A/B test has happened, there's potentially a CI component to understand sort of why things played out the way they did, or that sort of thing. So we're pretty involved every step of the way. It's just more of a sort of like the functional areas. So like the TV UI team is a really tight group, and that's the product, you know, sort of led by the product manager, and then the designer, CI, content design, all of that.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting.
Maybe for the people who just joined, we're actually answering a question from Eleonora about how the different teams within a company work together, right?
Yeah.
So,
and where is design located in the org structure? Nice. Any other? Is this the same for other organizations or different?
I can speak about my organization. So I didn't mention the company, it's Trusted Shops. Trusted Shops is really big in Germany, so we're around 1,000 people or so. So with us, so the UX team is embedded in the product and engineering unit. And there we have also the whole research in the UX team. So basically, every designer and every content designer is doing his own research, but we have kind of a team lead that is structuring and is making sure that all of this research comes in a hub. So we centralize all the research. Also, we have a data team where let's say the quantified data comes in. And we also have a source from customer insights, from customer success. And that's also coming in. That's all in the unit. I have to say it's still a little bit fragmented, but it's certainly something the company is working on. Yeah, so I always ask for a UX researcher. Somehow until now we don't have one because they think every designer or content designer should do their own research, but I bet it has more to do with other priorities or setting priorities in the company. So yeah, I don't know if this helps, but this whole UX research hub idea is also something that came up this year, also on pressure of our team, because there is research, but it's it's documented, but not well documented enough. And it's just all over. But if you need to do something and you have to collect it, it takes so much time also to set up all surveys and testing and stuff. So now we try to professionalize it, but yeah, we're still, let's say, in a phase where, well, it's okay. We're on the way.
Yeah, I think in the past I've fought so much for doing starting from usability testing, so the more validation, and then now doing more discovery research and so on. And yeah, I need to still sort of come back down to earth when I realize that there are organizations where even that is not happening. So then I'm thinking, okay, this is good, it's okay. Yeah. Could you tell me a little bit about the customer insights or customer success team? I think you mentioned.
Yeah, well, there is a big customer success team, and we have a product board where they feedback stuff, or they document wishes or feedback that they get from customer directly. I know that they're trying to restructure that, but I can't tell you exactly how is it at the moment. So, but there is a channel and there is a collaboration between the two. But yeah, I don't know, like there is a product board, and everybody, it's like openly accessible. So people from customer success, but also the product owners, everybody can access this board and see and also give feedback. And then there's also a document where they document all the feedback. Yeah, that's
So
what I know.
it seems that there is some sort of customer research going on in the organization then, right?
Yeah. Well, we do customer research a lot, but that is specifically the customer success team. They get direct feedback when they, of course, are in contact. So they also document things. So that's a different kind of documentation. That's not like the research, but that's just like the feedback part.
Yeah.
That has to do with product. So that's going there. Like that's another source or channel.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's also interesting for you then to see if you can use that for your own like content design. I'm conscious.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have, that might be also interesting, or I find it a cool initiative. We have just kind of internal channel where we can see comments and from customers on stuff, and then you can like filter for yourself, like, oh, this was a comment on okay, there's a problem with localization or content, so you can dig deeper there directly. So that's, yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah. Interesting.
There is a question in the Slido that has to do with what we're talking about now, about the collaboration with UX writers in your UX team. Does anyone have experience with that?
Yeah, I would be really happy to know how you collaborate all with UX writers, because we are our UX content localization team is embedded in the UX team, and we collaborate with designers, but we're kind of a helicopter team. So we're serving like 10 product teams, and the collaboration with designers is good, but well, there's still room for improvement. So I would be happy to hear some experience from others in other companies, if you can share.
No, I don't see people.
I can.
Yeah. Okay.
I could talk a little bit about that. I'd say, let's see, writers. I'd say this happens in a few ways. So sometimes we try to incorporate it into like an existing piece of research. I guess it sort of depends on the topic and the structure of the research, but if we're doing some existing research on a topic and maybe we're showing concepts or something, we'll try to include some of the content design work and try to sort of tackle it as part of a bigger project. But there is a fair amount of research that we do that's just focused on writing. So for us, a lot around the synopsis of the show. So we've done, we'll do a fair amount of work specifically on that to understand like what type of information is helpful in that particular space. And then of course, in a space like messaging, working with the messaging team, like we're doing a lot of research directly with the writing team that's obviously all writing focused. And in that case, there's the researcher who's just focused on messaging and optimizing messaging, and is working specifically on that. So it sort of runs the gambit of like, sort of small and tacked on to something bigger, or like we'll do a big project just on messaging optimization. But we also A/B test a lot of that as well. So it sort of helped refining and informing the A/B testing. We have some internal tools just to test copy within the UI and within messaging. Obviously, that's easy to do. So a lot of it gets sort of tested that way as well.
But is it like, where's the initiative coming from? It's like the content designer come to the research team saying, hey, we're working on that, so we need more information on that, or is it the other way around?
It can be both, I'd say, or either. A lot of times if the content designer is working really closely with the designer, the UX designer, then, they're sort of like have similar questions or sort of joint questions together, the way those pieces are interacting. So it can come from the content designer saying, we really need clarity on this, but sometimes it's just, there are questions that just sort of naturally emerge either from prior research or as the project is evolving, that sort of thing. We don't have like I'd say we're pretty flexible in sort of how we work with the teams in general and how the projects come in. That sometimes someone comes with a request, sometimes we just think there's a question that needs to be answered. So in general, it can sort of work either way.
Yeah, thank you. So, and the content designers are they're in the product?
Yeah, there's a content design team. Yeah, and then each content designer is aligned to one of the functional areas.
Yeah. Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. And are there any more questions? We also have in the beginning. Monica had needed tips for job hunting. Do you have any tips for Monica? I do get this question a lot since we're organizing Ladies at UX. There are always people asking us these questions, and also, of course, Ladies at UX Amsterdam. You have the mentorship program. I think that's one of the first tips, right, Claudia? You can get a mentor. When is the mentorship program going in? Are you doing it again next year, or is it already busy now?
Yeah, it's busy now. So the mentorship program started in let me think, April. And it's 3 months. Also, it's for free. It's just once a year. So yeah, this year you missed it, but you could you could join next year. And it's working like that. You just sign up and you say what you're interested in which areas. And what's happening is that we're matching the mentors and the mentees, and on behalf of your information that you give. So if you are looking for a mentor that helps you with your portfolio, for example, applying or things, then we also look for a mentor in that field that can support you. And I can just tell you, it's really, I've done it myself, and now I'm a mentor myself. So I found it super valuable if you're a mentor or a mentee, because you anyway learn either way. Like you can learn from your mentee, but as a mentee, you learn from your mentor. And also it's really good for your network. Just good to be in the communities if you look for jobs. Basically, it's good to network on LinkedIn. It's good to be active on LinkedIn, and also to do your own LinkedIn profile, your portfolio. I don't know how it's in the design field, but Also in the content design field, you need a portfolio, to showcase your work. So if you're interested next year, that's certainly a good way to get more support in that field. But otherwise, because now it's not the time to do the mentorship, you could also just think to reach out to people here also in the community that are here now. Perhaps somebody's willing to help you and support with your portfolio. It's like about looking over your portfolio and giving some tips. I mean, I think that also in our Slack community, you can just ask.
Yeah, everybody is willing to help. Are you already a member of our Slack community of Ladies at UX the Netherlands?
Yeah, I am, and I didn't know about the mentorship program, so that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Part of my course, we have like a career services, so I have a mentor for that, but I've heard and I'm open to having multiple mentors, maybe not too much, but I think it helps kind of like narrow down areas to focus on. And I'm doing just a lot of like Googling, like, you know, how to do this, how to do that, like improving your portfolio or the LinkedIn profile, like using that summary box. But I don't really know much about, I mean, I do know about cover letters, but since I'm a junior UX designer, I feel like it's a little harder to kind of make a strong cover letter, how to relate it to my previous job. And also, do I do a cover letter for every single job that I apply to? Because that kind of sounds overwhelming. Yeah, so just anybody's thoughts on that, experiences, that would be helpful. Yeah, and thank you, Claudia, about the mentorship program.
Maybe I can add a little bit. I think it's also about defining what you want and like finding like an overlap, right? And where are the higher chances of getting it? So I have to say, unfortunately, for example, in an organization as ours, you're working in, we're using the Spotify model, kind of multidisciplinary squad thing. You're responsible for end-to-end process, so including the research. I had to laugh there because we were also asking the designers to do research as well, to visual design, and also you have to manage all the different stakeholders from different departments. So it's very risky for me as a hiring manager to hire someone junior. So then I can understand certain other people in my position might have the same. Whereas, for example, when I started in an agency, and that's a great environment where you're sometimes paired with a senior designer. So then maybe that senior designer is doing more of the talking with the client and so on. And then maybe you start with doing sometimes very mundane work of like very basic things, hands-on work. But so then you grow in terms of your experience and also managing by following your senior designer, learn more of these things. So I think it's also because you're saying it's too much to create cover letters for every company, but if you target, if you filter out where you're more likely to get in, and also where you would like to, like you would enjoy, then I think it's really worth putting personalized cover letters, because to me, they really say a lot. If it's someone who have never heard about Bijenkorf and then they're applying, it's like a kind of a deal breaker for me, for example. So if you can connect what you know about the company and then you put that in the cover letter, I think that will get you at least the first interview.
Thank you.
And you can also look for companies who have a traineeship or some junior positions, of course, to start. I know at Capgemini they are starting that traineeship for juniors. That because it's really hard to get in if you are starting out as a junior. I know because it took me 7 years, but I hope it will take you less time. Oh, I see Dana has a hand raised.
Yeah, I was just gonna echo the agency recommendation. Whenever students ask me for advice on getting a job, I always say just go work at an agency, because that is the best experience. I know research is a little bit different than than design potentially, but at least from the research perspective, it's just such good experience. You get such a breadth of different methodologies, such a breadth of different clients. Like I worked at an agency, I worked on, one day I'd be doing like retail, the next day I'd be doing like dog food, the next day I'd be doing like, who knows what, like we did like online psychics. Like I seriously worked on everything. And you really get a sense, first of all, it just like broadens your horizons and builds your skills like crazy. And it's amazing networking because now you know people at all these different companies. But it also gives you a sense of what you like as well. Like, do you want to go work in pet food, which actually I really loved more than I thought I would, or retail or CPG or entertainment or whatever. You really get a sense of all those industries. And I do think it's really hard to get a job like just straight out of college. Like I know Netflix doesn't hire anyone who's essentially entry level. Everybody has to have been doing the job that they're hired to do, have been doing that job in some other capacity. So, and I would imagine that many other, big companies are the same. So I just think like nothing beats that like super hands-on agency experience. I greatly benefited from it, as tough as it can be sometimes. It's not always glamorous, but it's good career building.
Yeah, that I do read that a lot, and I hear that a lot about like agency being a good starting point, especially for a junior designer. But I also hear like the scary stories of like the stressed work environments and doing a lot of different jobs. But I'm open to it, especially since I am just beginning. Thank you.
I also have a tip about building your portfolio. I know a Dutch website, De Nieuwe Gevers. It's like, how do you say that? The work you do for free. I forgot.
Freelance?
No.
Volunteering? Volunteering?
Yeah, volunteering. Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know if there are more websites like that, but De Nieuwe Gevers is a Dutch website where you can give offer your services for free. And I've made personas, for example, for a company, and you can put it on your portfolio. You can help companies who are. I'm so bad with these English terms right now, but don't retain profits. Non-profit agent companies. Yeah. So there you can do work and put it on your portfolio, because it's really nice if you have a portfolio.
Yeah. Can you put it in the chat? Because it's kind of hard to know what it is in Dutch.
Yeah,
the name of it.
Gevers.nl, I think.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, look, there's another question. Is this related to the mentorship program? Oh, LinkedIn, UX. No, I don't think. Oh, Gaia Armelin. Do you know her, Claudia? I know the name, but I don't know. Gaia is involved in some kind of mentorship program. It's a question from Slido.
Gaia, is she a UX designer?
I don't know. Anyways, this we will. I don't know about this question right now, but
okay.
I don't know who asked this question. I can get back to you about it. No. Okay. Are there any more questions from the people here? And Olga, you joined, but you haven't introduced, so you're welcome to introduce yourself if you want to.
Just hi, just a moment. I'm just going to move because I'm with my two kids here. And just one moment, please. That's why I didn't turn on my camera, because the baby was all over me.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah. So
in the meantime, you're already there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I just found out on LinkedIn. I was scrolling, and then this just came up, and I was like, oh, I have to hear this. This is going to be very interesting, because I'm how I can describe it. I'm a visual designer. My background is a graphic designer, but life, that's life. I just ended working on UX and UI without knowing it. because it was yes, because it was 5 years ago, more 6 years ago. Oh my god. When I started, I'm from Guatemala, by the way. So I just ended in a startup, and I started working as a graphic designer there, doing all, the branding and stuff, and then designing the website and all the app side. So I ended without looking on it, and I love it. I completely
What's
love
not
it.
to laugh about it?
Yes, exactly. And right now, well, when we came here to the Netherlands, I just stopped working because I have my kids. Well, in that year I just had one, and the same in the pandemic I just had another one. so so now I have two, and then I'm just looking for relaunch my career. And I started to arrange everything to show the employers, and has been a very hard path, because how do you show them that you are able to work, that you are capable of, when first you come from another country, and sometimes you get nervous and just stop talking correctly in English, because English is not your main language. And in fact, I already have the experience that, oh, I'm sorry, I can continue with you because you don't speak very good English. And I was like, I'm just so nervous.
Yeah.
It was terrible, a terrible experience, but to be honest. But well, in the very short, large form to describe myself, this is the point that I am now. Trying to relaunch my career as a visual designer, as a UX UI designer, trying to be updated because of my motherhood break.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can totally understand. Yeah. I think this can be difficult, and I read a lot of these posts on LinkedIn that getting into UX again in your case is really, really difficult. But my advice would be just to not give up and keep trying, because every time you do an interview, you practice every time, and one day might take a lot of interviews, but one day you will have your story, and it will be, you have been telling it for 20 times already, so you might struggle less. And actually prepare all the words, and also practice it with someone. Come into the community.
Yes, I have
practice it with us.
because I have here a lot of notes, but it's not the same when you are face to face with the other people, right?
Yeah.
So it's always an experience to grow.
Yeah, and you're nervous, of course, so then you forget everything. So yeah, I can imagine. Do you have other tips for Olga?
Yeah, it was absolutely nice to hear you.
I think most people they don't have English as their native language, so just think about that. They're also translating what they want to ask in their mind. Yeah.
Thank you very much to give me this space to talk with you. I hope that we can meet each other soon. I was just looking for it.
Yeah. Are you already on our Slack channel? Because I can also invite you to that, and then you have access to all of us, and we can have an extra channel for crying after your interview.
Yeah. Perfect. That would be nice to be part of it.
Yeah, I will send it in the chat because I don't have it here right now, but we'll send it later. Okay, nice. Okay, are there any other questions? I will check the Slido. In here, there's not. And we only have 10 minutes left.
I just put a little note in the chat just for the link to sign up for the Women in Research organization. So.
Okay. We also had some information we wanted to share with you if there weren't any questions. So we only have 10 minutes left to do that. So I think in these 10 minutes we can talk about our communities and what we offer, or maybe something else you want to know. If you have any other questions, or you don't want to hear that. No. No, I don't see anyone, also not anyone protesting. So let me put our questions. Our questions we had a little bit were talking about Ladies at UX, because who is actually here for the first time, except for Olga, because you were, and Dana also. So yeah.
I'm for the first time on the lunch, but I've been at the meetups.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I touched upon it a little bit at the beginning, but Ladies at UX is actually a global community. So it, as I said, it started out in 2013. And we have these chapters now in the Netherlands. We have over 80 chapters in the world. So you can Google anywhere if there's a chapter maybe close to you, but I think you all are here in the Netherlands right now. But yeah, we all have our own goals and our own reasons why we joined Ladies at UX. And last year, we, Ladies at UX Utrecht, we organized Talk UX. That's an annual conference from Ladies at UX, and every year it's in another community hosts it. And last year we had the honor to host it, and actually it made us think, like, who are all these other communities? We're actually family. It feels like that because it's global and there's so many chapters, but we don't know all these other chapters. I mean, of course we have a Slack group, but it's different. You don't really talk to each other face to face. You just give some information sometimes. So we made a video and we asked people around the globe to give us a little bit of insight in their community. And it's just so nice. I will post the video. It's already on Meetup. I can post it on LinkedIn also. It's a really nice video where you just found the energy that the girls have when organizing these meetups. And yeah, it's nice to hear from each other. So actually, this is the first launch meetup where we invited someone else. So Ladies at UX Amsterdam is also excited to host this with us. And in the coming meetups, we actually want to invite other chapters as well. And then you can ask your questions also, of course, to other chapters. Maybe I can start. For me, starting Ladies at UX in Utrecht was, as I already mentioned in the beginning, because I really loved going to Ladies at UX Amsterdam. I only went maybe to 2 or 3 meetups, but the vibe there, it was really welcoming, because sometimes you go to a meetup and you stand in a corner, you don't know anybody, and it's not really welcoming. They don't really come to you and you just stand there. But with Ladies at UX Amsterdam, it felt different. It felt everybody just talked to one another. And I think maybe that's also the strength of women. Women just talk to each other a lot. And also on the Slack channel, I also have a women in testing Slack channel where we just have these ranting channels or just talking about motherhood or something. So women just like to talk, and it creates another environment than if it's a mixed community. And of course, we are open to men as well. But I think because women started it and are the majority, this vibe helps. It helps making the community open and making it also easy for people to start presenting, for example. So if you want to present something, you can just try it out at our community. So yeah, the reason why I started it is because I was in testing as a software tester, and I actually wanted to do more with UX. And I wanted to learn. I also, like Monica, I needed to start, and I didn't know where. I didn't have a portfolio, even though I have a master's in interaction design. So yeah, I just wanted to start somewhere. And I think joining this community is a really good way to start and to grow your network and to learn a lot, because we have meetups every month, and every month you learn something else. And also these informal sessions where you can just, even if you don't have a question, you learn a lot. And what about you, Claudia, and Ladies at UX Amsterdam? For the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that perhaps interesting for you that we have some upcoming events, certainly in person. We plan in autumn. So because the summer is mostly a little bit more difficult, people are away. So be prepared for September, October. So we will certainly drop something on LinkedIn about that. Yeah, what else can I say? For me, the community, I have to say, as being a content designer, I don't think there are a lot of UX writers in this community. But there are also content designer communities. So I'm part of different communities, I have to say. I'm also part of the localization community because I also do localization and I have a background So I'm Swiss Italian, living in the Netherlands. So I have a lot of languages around me, let's say. Yeah, what this community gave me is actually a really, really good mentor. They didn't have anyone in UX writing when I wrote them. I said, well, I need a senior person in content design. They said, whoa, we don't have, but we're gonna look for you. And they found super senior person at Spotify, back then at Booking, and actually she's living in Amsterdam, and we became friends. So basically it's really, really good also for your net, because of course this person knows again a lot of other persons in that field. So, and she had so many it was such a rich mentorship in the sense that she could support me in my daily work, but also let's say helping me with the career, because she knew already a lot of other things that I didn't know. Also, what I can say is that if you're a beginner, because I have a background in journalism and translation, so I come from a totally different, or not totally different, let's say a more non-digital background, but then moved into online journalism and later on marketing and now content design, is that it's good to get in communities, whatever you're doing, and also to learn from others, but also to perhaps do some courses, how you did, I think, Monica, where you have really experienced people and a good network, because these people can help you, again, also for your future career, not only with the education, but also always if you have some questions and you know how to proceed. And also personal advice for newcomers. I've been in the Netherlands now 10 years, and I've been applying, so like I can't count the amount of applications I've sent out in my life. So just keep on going. And yeah, it's not easy. Also Amsterdam is, or the Netherlands is not that easy actually, especially if you're in a if you're non-Dutch, I would say, if you're not in an international environment. That's also depending on what you're looking for. So international environment, you have a lot of native competitors, of course, especially if you're in the writing field like I am. So, but I think in the design field as well, you have a lot of competition, because Amsterdam attracts a lot of people from all over the world. So, and there are big companies and they can choose the people. So, but just keep on going and learning and never give up. I think, Kimberly, you said it well. And the community is really a big support, like the Slack community. Whenever I have a question, I just put it in all my Slack communities to see if I get somebody who has experience on this particular topic, and then we get in touch. So it's really, really good. Yeah, that's it. I think we have only 2 minutes left. So Kimberly.
Yeah, so I think we're going to end it. I also put our next meetup in the chat, because we also have a next meetup, and it's next month. It's about neurodiversity and design. So for me, myself, I think it's very interesting. I haven't heard about this a lot. So be sure to register. And this was a practice live stream for that event. So it will be also live in person. So you can join if you're in Utrecht, but it will also be live streams. And I think it worked today. So I don't know how to end the live stream. So you can just close your windows if you're if it doesn't close it. But thank you everyone for joining. And yeah, we'll hope to see you next time. And I don't know if we're gonna live stream all these lunch meetings, because sometimes we want to just talk, not that everybody's listening, of course. But it was a good practice, and thank you for helping us fill the entire hour. Go ladies. Well, have a nice day, have a nice weekend.
Thank
and,
you.
We'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.
Yes. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Stop live stream. Okay.